What's going on, Go Nation? I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be reacting to new Rockstar's Mandalorian Season 3 trailer breakdown. Just got done watching Mandalorian Season 1 and 2 about a couple weeks ago. Love the show, my favorite Star Wars show. I can't wait till Season 3, man. But, yo, let's go ahead and just watch this breakdown for new Rockstars. Eric Boss, let's see what you got.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Boss. And The Mandalorian Season 3 just released a new trailer ahead of the season premiere on March 1st. And brace yourselves for more Order 66 trauma. But, you know, hey, lightsabers, multicolored armor sets, the Star Wars loved by fans who like to wait in line to buy toys at Galaxy's Edge is back! I'm gonna break down this trailer frame by frame for all the details that you might have missed and catch you up on where we last saw these characters in The Mandalorian Season 2 and the Book of Boba Fett, because let's be honest, those two episodes of Book of Boba Fett were really Mandalorian Season 2.5. Not that we complained. Also, a reminder to subscribe to our new channel, The Deep Dive, that's gonna launch February 17th, in which every week I will be digging even deeper into stuff like Everything Everywhere All at Once with a more pointed focus, while I continue to break down Easter eggs here on New Rockstars. Let's get started with this trailer.
Our people are scattered, like stars in the galaxy. What are we? What do we stand for?
We open with composer Ludwig Göransson's piercing flute. In the universe, the Mandalorian flute is the buzzbev, but for the show's music, Göransson uses a recorder. A better recorder than the crap that we used to play in elementary school. We see a group of 7 Mandalorian armored figures hiking across a rocky desert terrain that looks a lot like Arizona or Utah, or the volume's impression of them. Actually, if you look closely through the haze, leading them appears to be Bo-Katan, with Din Djarin to the left of her, but there are even more Mandos in this magnificent 7, ones with a variety of colorful mismatched armor. There's a shot of 4 of them thumping their armor in unison, followed by a shot of red and white armored one with a rifle and jetpack turning back toward a red and teal plated Mandalorian with an interesting signet on his shoulder, maybe a wolf like the Loth Wolf, and behind him a tan and green helmeted thick boy, and then a 4th blue helmeted one in the background on the right. And then this shot we saw in the D23 trailer of Din Djarin stepping past 3 more. There are 2 white helmeted ones and then another orange helmeted one. The white helmets could be part of the Night Owls, who do have thinner, more angled helmets with the visors and more of that avian Y shape than the classic Mandalorian T shape. All in all, we are just seeing a lot more than 7 Mandalorians across all these shots. So this group of 7 in the distance may be Bo-Katan leading Din Djarin and her other remaining Night Owl group, including Koska Reeves and Axe Woves, whom we met alongside Bo-Katan in Season 2 on the planet Trask, and then some others, like the white helmeted ones, all on a hike to meet up with a bigger group of Mandalorians from various other clans who have been scattered across the galaxy like stars. Now remember, in Book of Boba Fett Episode 5, the Armorer shared her perspective of the history of Bo-Katan after Bo-Katan wielded the Darksaber at the end of Rebels, when she hoped to reunite the scattered Mandalorian clans under her rule and retake the planet of Mandalore, but failed, because according to the Armorer, the Darksaber was not won by combat, and that brought a curse upon Bo-Katan's house.
Bo-Katan Kryze was born of a mighty house, but they lost sight of the way. Her rule ended in tragedy. They lost their way, and we lost our world. Had our sect not been cloistered on the moon of Concordia, we would have not survived the Great Purge.
So I think what's really going on here is that Din Djarin and Bo-Katan have called a Congress of representatives from all surviving Mandalorian clans, gathering them on Concordia. Concordia does have a terrain that looks kind of like this. Their goal is to try to organize all the Mandalorians into some unified body, and then maybe to democratically select a new leader, create a new system of government. But, you know, since these are Mandalorians, I assume it'll just devolve into partisan bickering, because Mandalorians like to solve their problems by fighting. Now, back in the Book of Boba Fett, Din Djarin told the Armorer that he would next go to Mandalore to be forgiven for his transgressions. Remember, that transgression was removing his helmet. His clan never ever does that. And she said that he would have to go to the living waters beneath the mines of Mandalore. Also a reminder that things did end frosty between Din Djarin and Bo-Katan after Din won that Darksaber in combat from Moff Gideon in the Mandalorian Season 2 finale, which really complicated Bo-Katan's goal to redeem her humiliation among all the other Mandalorians. And now it kind of sounds like Din Djarin is stepping up as that presumed leader. He says, "Our people are scattered like stars in the galaxy. What are we? What do we stand for?" It sounds like our man is speechifying. He's appealing to all these scattered Mandalorians to rediscover a common culture and creed. You know, as much as I love the mystery of Grogu on the show is called The Mandalorian, and that to me is the strongest thematic undercurrent of the series. Let's move on to the next section.
Being a Mandalorian's not just learning about how to fight. You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy.
So Din Djarin pilots his N1 Naboo starfighter. Remember, he got that from Pelimoto in the Book of Boba Fett. They remodeled it silver. The original astromech port replaced with this bubble dome jump seat for Grogu to ride in. Now in another shot, Grogu actually moves back to Din's lap. I guess the back seat too far away from Papa. It actually looks like here that Din is sleeping as an astromech pilots from the back from a new port that is located behind Grogu's jump seat. Now this fighter is flying at freaking hyperspeed, which is pretty crazy because the Kineso switch that Moto installed previously only allowed him to accelerate to really high speeds that looks like hyperspeed, but really was not hyperspeed fully. It's just not common for fighters of this size to have room for hyperdrives, but you know, with Luthen Rael's Fondor Hallcraft and Andor, just seems to be something Star Wars is doing more often. Now, Din Djarin tells Grogu that to be a Mandalorian means learning how to navigate the galaxy, which is pretty sad because it means that to Din Djarin, a definitive aspect of Mandalorian lifestyle is to be a wanderer. On to the next clip.
That way, you'll never be lost.
Okay, the N1 starfighter lands back on Navarro, and Navarro has dramatically developed, both in terms of cleaning up the structure following Imperial occupation, but with new, more vertical structures building up. There's yellow flags flapping in the breeze, so Navarro is less of a town of bounty hunters getting drunk, and now a place with more of a cultural identity. The gate that they land by is no longer crumbling, and we see a good old Kowakian monkey lizard, and now the Kowakian monkey lizards just hang out in the trees. Remember in season 1, they roasted these poor things on spits. Now this little guy must be a mix of VFX because it totally maintains the Salacious B crumb practical look, but it's like removed from any place a puppet hand could be. They probably marionetted it with sticks and then they painted out those marionette sticks in post-production. And notice how Grogu has a much sleeker new bassinet. It comes with a headlight and it looks more heavily armored. And behind them in the distance follows a very confused looking R5-D4. That's the red plated astromech droid originally from A New Hope. That's the one with a bad motivator. He showed back up in Pelimoto's shop and now serves as Din Djarin's astromech. And why? I wouldn't trust this busted dumbass to be my DD.
Hey!
Grief Karga is now the magistrate of Navarro and seems to have Steve Harvey's wardrobe budget. He and Din Djarin shake hands at the foot of the IG-11 statue that stands in the town square ever since he sacrificed himself to save them in season 1. Notice how that statue props his foot on, what is that? Yep, that is that.
I did not see that at all.
Din and Grogu pilot through a rainy atmosphere, perhaps making their descent to the ruins of Mandalore or wherever Bo-Katan is, because later we see Mando in the throne room where Bo-Katan sits in the previous trailer and his helmet is covered in raindrops there. It's also possible that they're approaching the rainy Camino planet to investigate Pershing's cloning operation. Not really sure. It rains on lots of planets, not just on Camino.
I'm going to Mandalore so that I may be forgiven for my transgressions.
May the Force be with you!
This is the way.
Okay, we see a close-up of a Beskar ladle dipping into water as we once again see this clip from the Book of Boba Fett when Din Djarin tells his intentions to the armorer. Then we see from overhead the ruins of this Mandalorian city. Perhaps this is Sundari. That is the domed city that seemed to be the one that got bombed in the armorer's story in the Book of Boba Fett. But notice the fields of green to the left of the ruins. These are likely fed by the living waters of Mandalore and are proof that these springs still flow. Now, we got a lot of folks asking if this astromech is Chopper from Rebels. No, this is R5-D4, who, again, for some reason, Mando is allowing to astromech pilot his N1. Chopper will appear in Ahsoka, so you're gonna have to wait until then to hang out with that little war criminal. I honestly don't know why you all love him so much. He's this crabby little turd. He should burn in droid hell. The N1 pilots through celebratory fireworks. Maybe Tatooine is celebrating Life Day, or the anniversary of the second Death Star destruction in the Battle of Endor, and Din Djarin lets Grogu flip the Kineso switch. How nice of him. Moving on.
There's something dangerous happening out there. And by the time it becomes big enough for you to act, it'll be too late.
Whoa, we got a few glub shittos here. First off, we are back on Coruscant. This is the first time we've
So
seen
it is
live
Coruscant,
action
okay.
in this era of Star Wars, I guess since George Lucas added it to the victory montage of the Return of the Jedi special edition. And our old friend, Dr. Pershing, is visiting. Remember, he was the one trying to get Grogu's genetic material in season 1 on behalf of Moff Gideon. And based on the Kaminoan looking patch that he was wearing at that time, the assumption has always been that it could be part of some Palpatine cloning plot. Captain Carson Teva returns with a new patch of his own that looks a bit like a Rancor, if you ask me. He warns of something dangerous happening out there, perhaps the rise of the First Order. We enter a cave with light pouring in from above and a blue glow in the distance, maybe the mines of Mandalore leading to the living waters, and Mando pulls an old helmet out of the dirt or maybe out of the ash. This could be one of the victims of Sundari's bombing. When those droids were mowing through the ash, we did see some Mandalorian helmets buried in the foreground. And then perhaps the most striking shot of the trailer, a scene from the Jedi Temple as 4 Jedi with their lightsabers drawn, bracing for someone with another lightsaber cutting through a door. Now, I checked, these 4 Jedi are not any Jedi that we know. None of these 4 are Syndralic. We saw security footage of Anakin killing him somewhere else. But yes, this does look like this season will return again, tragically, to the night of Order 66.
Are we gonna see Anakin?
That's the Anakin! However, this could have been a fake out, because notice this is from a low angle. We are seeing this from Grogu's point of view, just like in that flashback of the Book of Boba Fett. So if Anakin/Vader accessed a chamber where Grogu was, none of them would have made it out alive, including Grogu. I just highly doubt that Anakin ever knew Grogu existed. It would just open up too many plot holes. So rather, I think this scene is gonna make us think that it's Vader, but when those doors open, it will be Grogu's long, mysterious rescuer. Many a fan theory has been hoping it is Mace Windu, whom fans hope survived that fall from Palpatine's orders, but I think the likelier option, based on him getting mentioned in Obi-Wan Kenobi last year, is Quinlan Vos. Quinlan not only survived Order 66, he joined the path of Jedi refugees that Obi-Wan met up with, and Quinlan Vos continued to aid this group. Just sounds like the kind of thing that Grogu could have benefited from. And please, can it be a Vos who saved Grogu? But I also like the theory that this Jedi Temple shot might not be from Order 66 at all, and instead could be an even further flashback to the older era when Jedi and Mandalorians were at war and the dark saber was stolen from the Jedi Temple. Stolen or reclaimed, depending on a certain point of view. I like the idea, and I hope we see that Tar Vizsla history at some point. I just don't know about that. These Jedi robes look period specific to the time of Order 66, and back in the older days, Jedi wore different kinds of clothing. On to the next clip.
Hang on, kid.
Looks like Din Djarin's gonna get mixed up in a chase. He's actually piloting a Mandalorian Gauntlet starfighter, and he's fleeing a group of TIE interceptors. Now remember, these Gauntlet fighters were piloted by the Death Watch during the Clone Wars. And then we visit this droid bar that has a mix of astromech droids and, holy crap, separatist B-1 battle droids. What the hell are these things still doing around at this point in history? I mean, I don't care, I love it, but it looks like this bar is droid exclusive. Like maybe instead of alcohol, they just kind of plug in and recharge. Maybe they power down just enough to take the edge off, make them forget how much they hate their kids. Then we see this group of blue armored Death Watch Mandalorians plunging from a dropship. I love this shot. We saw it in the celebration footage, we saw it in the D23 trailer, and now it looks like they are attacking Navarro or engaging in some kind of conflict that is set in Navarro. Because that mound to the left of Paz Vizsla is the same base of the IG-11 statue with the stormtrooper heads. It looks like the IG-11 part of the statue has been destroyed because now only 2 pieces of rebar poke up. So what the hell did you do, Paz? But yeah, it looks like we're gonna see some war break out between the 2 factions of the Mandalorian. One faction being the Death Watch, the Children of the Watch, and another faction being headed up by Bo-Katan and Din Djarin, the Night Owls, and whatever other allies from the scattered clans of the Mandalorians are able to recruit. And part of this fight, we see a Mandalorian tripping a Nikto to the delight of these Anzellans. This is the same race as Babu Frick, the best thing to come out of the Rise of Skywalker. On to the last clip.
This is the way.
So our boy Grogu has been weaponizing the Force, and in this case, he's using a Force push on some kind of Wookiee-like species. I thought maybe this might be a Tals from Ordu Plutona in Clone Wars, but those things have a more pear-shaped form and very differently shaped eyes. I don't know, this would just be a pretty serious anatomic readjustment on what we saw in Clone Wars. Also, this planet doesn't look cold enough for a Tals. Really, this just looks something from Ralph McQuarrie's concept art. Whoever this fella is, he carries a jade-colored blade or a kind of axe that falls out of his hand when Grogu tosses it backward. Overall, folks, this season looks really, really good. I think it's gonna be a season that lives up to the Mandalorian's name and premise. An arc that explores Mandalorian culture and history on a level that we haven't really seen yet. And I cannot wait to break down every episode starting March 1st, right here on New Rockstars. But a reminder, you should also subscribe to New Rockstar's new channel, The Deep Dive, launching February 17th, with deeper investigations from me every week. You can follow it on all socials at Deep Dive NR. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EAVoss, follow New Rockstars, and subscribe to New Rockstars for breakdowns and theories of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.
A lot of information, a lot of Easter eggs. Eric Voss, he did it again. New rock stars, you guys are awesome. Love you guys, man. Man, I cannot wait for Mandalorian season 3, man. It's gonna be crazy. It's honestly gonna be insane. Like, I might throw up. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. But anyways, guys, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment or two. You already know what to do. Go Nation. We out.